Hey everyone, welcome to another LEGO Fan video. I'm your host LEGO Fan, and I do fun LEGO videos at about 10 steps per video, as well as some Ben 10 videos where I review aliens, allies, and anything in between. I run my Ben 10, and today we will be covering the aliens from the Ben 10 movies, Secret of the Iron Tricks, Destroy All Aliens, and Race Against Time in that order. The way I run it, you get 10 seconds to try and guess the alien or character that I name, and then I'll reveal it, and I talk about, their roles. I'll also give first lines if there is any, and if you guys are new, do all the usual YouTube stuff, subscribe, like, and ring the bell to get notified of my next videos. So, with that in mind, let's get started with our very first alien that never speaks in all the time. And that alien is, of course, Wild Mutt. Wild Mutt is four of these aliens up here are different versions of the character alien, whatever you want to say, Wild Mutt. Of them, which four are Wild Mutt? 10 seconds, good luck. So the four that we have are Ben 10's version of Wild Mutt, which is this version right here. We also got the character known as Wild Pup in the fandom, because that's what Gwen called him, that appeared in the Fountain of Youth episode, which is this version right here. We also have Wild Mutt when he's sick, that appeared in the Cold episode when we first met Clancy. And then we have Ben 10,000's version, not terribly different, but it does have the stripes and the Omnitrix in a different position. So, of course, this is Wild Mutt and his different forms, who is a Vulpamaster, first appearing in Secret of the Omnitrix, appearing twice in Secret of the Omnitrix, once when the watch was once again on the fritz, causing Ben to transform into numerous amounts of aliens before settling on gray matter, one of those aliens being, of course, Wild Mutt. We also see Wild Mutt later on when he was hunting down a stowaway on Tetrax's ship, helping Tetrax try and find the stowaway. Turning out that it's actually Gwen, and accidentally opening up the cargo bay doors, saving Gwen from being sucked down into space as well as him being sucked down into space before the cargo bay doors eventually closed. Later on, when we get into different movies, we also see him in Race Against Time, appearing, battling Eon for the final time, pushing him into the hands of Armageddon, seemingly killing Eon, before eventually unfreezing everyone and racing to the talent show to perform his magic trick, transforming back into Ben by hiding underneath the curtain on stage. So there are numerous powers that this dog-esque alien has. He senses more via these gills that you see on the side of his face, and is shown to be very agile and has sharp claws which are able to rip through almost anything. He's also strong and has a strong bite and has a powerful charge. He also speaks Vulpamaster, which is a series of growls and other animal-esque sounds that you might hear. He also is shown to be smarter than his species, might be because he shares his brain with a human. He's also fast and can climb vertically. He also has a high jump and can sense heat signatures. That's how he essentially sees. However, the main drawback that I have with this alien is the fact that he can't speak English, being the only alien in Ben 10's collection that doesn't have any sort of English-esque language. However, there are some characters that are able to understand what he's trying to say. He also cannot see when he's sick due to the fact that the mucus clogs the gills that enable him to see. He's also weak to sonic sounds and doesn't have any fast reflexes. He's also pretty heavy, and when young, he doesn't have a terribly strong bite compared to his more adult counterparts. Now that we have the ones that don't have a first line out of the way, and I just messed up my order there, let's move on to ones that do have a first line. So, that first alien that we get to hear speak is Heat Blast, where we have 4 versions up here, with this being its first line. Wait.
Okay, animal. Science class is canceled.
So, of these, which 4 are Heat Blast? 10 seconds, good luck. So, we got 4 versions. Ben 10,000 as Heat Blast, a little different. We got Ben 10, Young Ben 10 as Heat Blast, which is never given a fandom name. I don't know, what would you call him? We also got Ben 10 as Heat Blast, of course. And then finally Gwen as Heat Blast. A little skinnier, but not terribly different. So, Heat Blast is a pirate knight who first appeared in Secret of the Omnitrix, where he was the very first alien that we got to see. He being used to stop Anima from using his de-evolution bomb to de-evolutionize the world, yada yada yada. We all know Anima's plan at this point. So he managed to stop it by heating it to critical, causing it to prematurely blow up. However, this hit him, but the de-evolutionized bomb hit him in the process, causing the Omnitrix to go on the fritz, sparking the whole events of the movie. He then transformed back into Ben after this moment, after the moment passed. Then in Destroy All Aliens once again appearing twice in the movie. Once when Ben got out of his locker to try and get after Kasha DT threw him in there. He managed to get out of the locker by transforming into Heat Blast and then flying all the way home, going all the way up to his room, trying to hide from his parents. Transforming shortly after going under the bed. But he left some scorch marks. Then reappearing battling Asmus Dad in Bellwood, not managing to knock him out, but Asmus Dad used an ice beam to freeze him, which allowed Asmus Dad to interrogate him. But unfortunately for him, he transformed into gray matter and before any info was given. Then in Race Against Time, he battled Eon when Eon first when Eon first came to town, managing to take out Eon after lighting him on fire, which supposedly killed him, only to later find out that he was alive and well. Now that I think about it, that is a pretty brutal way to go. So, Heat Blast has a variety of fire-based attacks that he can use to take out his opponents, so he can make his shoot fireballs from his hands, as you can see in Gwen's photo here. He can also shoot a single jet of fire, walk into fire, shown to be somewhat strong. He can remove flames from an area. He can also produce a tunnel of flames for any transport for him or for any other characters that might be in his vicinity. He can also surf around flames and produce a giant fireball as well as many baby fireballs. He can also melt certain products like metal and glass and light himself on fire, making his attack stronger or as a means of getting people off him, often nicknamed in the show as going supernova. And also, he's one of the few aliens that's shown to actually benefit when getting sick. I forgot to note that one. There's actually a 5th version of him that I'm pretty sure you guys spotted that I forgot about. When he's sick, he looks like this. This grants him ice-based attacks now, which is essentially Diamond Head, essentially. I'm just gonna say it right out. It's essentially Diamond Head attacks now. His Icon of Flames can also damage any nearby enemies, and he can blast off of a heat explosion like a rocket. He also can produce fireworks and has fire breath, but is never shown fire breath, but is mentioned by Ben. He can also produce a lion piece, shoots discs of fire, and is pretty fast. There are some downsides to being heat blast though. One of the major downsides I'm pretty sure you can already know is weak to fire, and the fire extinguisher if soaked enough, he won't be able to ignite. He can also be hypnotized and briefly blinded by smoke, and uses special ice he can be frozen. The next alien that speaks is Gray Matter, whose first line is,
Sometimes I think this thing just plain hates me.
there are two versions up here of Gray Matter. Which two are they? 10 seconds, good luck. So we got two versions of Gray Matter. Of course, Ben 10's version of Gray Matter, which is this one, and Gwen's version of Gray Matter, which is this one. I do never like that design. So, he's a goblin who first appeared in Secret of the Omnitrix, being an accidental transformation after the Watch decided to go on the fritz, chasing after Anemo on the hoverboard and crashed into him, getting onto Anemo and distracting him long enough for the mutated Hornet to crash into a pipe, but unfortunately he got tossed off the ride before that actually happened, latching onto a chain, and then transforming to Ben shortly after. And yes, this was above chemicals. So yeah, it kinda sucked, and he didn't even have the hoverboard. Then in Destroy All Aliens, he managed to get away from Asmod's dad, running all the way home to get to safety, only to be met by his mom, wielding a broom, and trying to swat him away. And then when he got kicked out of the house, he transformed into Diamond Head, making his mom pass out. Then, in Race Against Time, he was used to get some revenge on Cash and DT by launching pies at them and creating a quiet show at the diner by messing with all the wires, before changing it back into Ben later on. So, due to his small size, he is able to fit into smaller places and is Ben's smartest alien. He can also breathe underwater for a brief time and can swim. He also has a high jump and is pretty strong for his size, considering the fact that he's able to lift a normal-sized phone. He also has a strong bite and is able to stick to surfaces. He also has knowledge on how to take down aliens and is very agile. He also can ride a hoverboard, is fast, and can walk up walls. In other words, climb vertically. But, of course, since he's small, that small size can be problematic when facing up against some of his bigger enemies. And his intelligence can be confusing for people who don't know what he's saying. Even Ben doesn't know where some of this intelligence is coming from. He can be picked up with relative ease and can be hypnotized as well. However, he may be smart, but he doesn't know how to do everything. And he can be the most problematic for timeouts if he's in a spot where a normal-sized human can't fit. The next alien up is Upchuck, whose first line is, oh, you heard it right there. Not the Pilgax part. So, of these, which one is Upchuck? 10 seconds, good luck. So, the one that is Upchuck is this one right here. He's a Gorman who first appeared in Secret of the Omnitrix, only appearing in Secret of the Omnitrix, chasing after someone he thought was Pilgax, though it turned out it was Mygax, and he was quickly and swiftly beaten shortly after, timing out pretty much after he was beaten. So he has tentacles that comes out of his mouth and can eat anything and everything so long as he spits it out sometime later. He also has enhanced speed and agility, and after he eats, he can spit up goo balls out of his mouth, which can also turn into a type of frisbee. His goo can also be very sticky, but as I stated, so long as he eats something, he has powers. Otherwise, he's almost entirely useless. He also can't swallow everything. He has to eventually spit some stuff out whole that doesn't turn into some sort of goo. He also can't eat normal food like pizza, for example. He has to eat something like a desk, like this desk, for example, he has to eat. Now we're going to get into another one of Ben's classic, which has the most versions on here, that being 6 different versions of him, and this is his first line. That line. So, of these, which 6, you heard me right, 6 are forearms? 10 seconds, good luck. So, the 6 that are forearms, we got forearms when he's sick. I don't have good lighting right now, but you can see that it's a paler color. We also got Gwen as forearms right there. We got Ben 10 as forearms. We got Young Ben as forearms. We also got Ben 10,000 as forearms. And we got forearms from the episode Game Over. All of these are different versions of forearms. A Tetraman who first appeared in Secret of the Iron Tricks attempted to save Gwen from Wild Floranus, but he unfortunately failed and lost her after they disappeared down a hatch, which closed shortly after they went down it. He then continuously started pounding and screaming it should have been him before he changed back shortly after that. Then in Destroyer Aliens, he bowed Azimuth's dad at Stonehenge, managing to beat him while semi-preserving the landmark, changing into Upgrade shortly after beating Azimuth's dad. So, Foron's main ability is that he is extremely strong and has the ability to jump super high. He also has a super slam attack that can create a mini earthquake and bend metal to attack enemies. There's also a sonic version of his clap that is very devastating. He also is very durable, and with his strength and bulk, he can burst through most restraints. He also has 2 extra arms and has a speedy toss. He also has quick reflexes as he was able to catch a missile and can climb vertically. He also can create a sonic clap by clapping his 4 hands together at the same time, and he can be fast at times. There are some notable weaknesses, like he can't breathe underwater. He can't fit in tight spots like the rust bucket. There is a limit to his strength. He is weaker when he's sick. He is slow, and if he can't catch what he grabs, he will be dragged along for the ride. Now, one of Ben's newer aliens that he gets in the series is Cannonbolt. And whose first line is... So of these, which 2 are Cannonbolt? 10 seconds, good luck. So we got him from Game Over and him in his normal form. So he is an Arborian Pelarota, first appearing in Secret of the Iron Tricks after Azimuth decided to reject them because, well, he's very cynical. Then Ben decided to transform into him out of anger, managing to actually break down the door in order to reach Azimuth in his little hut. And then he decided to slam right into Azimuth's armor, breaking the armor he was in. He changed back shortly after the armor broke. So based on his name, you could probably guess what he does. He can roll himself into an indestructible ball, deflecting almost any attack that's thrown onto it. He also has enhanced speed when rolling into a ball and can burrow underground. He also can grab items and people in ball form and is very bouncy. He can go underground, is somewhat strong, and can hold people in his ball form. And is very bouncy. However, there are some drawbacks. First off, he's very top heavy and can be bounced back with enough force, and forced into the ground with enough durability. He's also weak outside his ball form, and he may be durable, but he's not indestructible. He can be hurt. And with a special type of knife, you can uncurl him, leaving him vulnerable for attacks as well as unprepared for it. He also can be hard to control at times and can get stuck due to his big size. Now we're getting into the first chronological appearance of this alien, that being the alien of Way Big, whose first line is...
That's a big alien.
this line.
Check me out. I'm not just big. I'm way big.
Yeah, now you're screwed. So, of these, which two are Way Big? 10 seconds, good luck. So, this is one version of him that I just slid right into the darkness. So, that's Ben 10,000 as Way Big, and this is Ben 10 as Way Big. So he is a Toku star, first appearing as Secret of the Onyx in the final fight with Vilgax, taking out a lot of drones before managing to grab Vilgax and throwing him into space, timing out off screen. Then in Destroyer of Aliens, he had a Godzilla-esque fight with the Waybad and Asmistad, who was holding his own pretty well against both of them, ending with him being stunned, but getting hit in the frill, saving the Waybad from being stunned by Asmistad after revealing the truth, transforming shortly afterwards. So, his main power is that he is absolutely ginormous, hence his name. He's also very durable and very strong, able to toss people into space. His claws are sharp, though that might be well due to his size, and can fight pretty well. Main drawbacks, though, is he's big. His size can make him a big target, and hitting the frill on his head can make him go immobile. He also tends to cause a lot of harm to his surroundings as another alien that has very inconvenient timing, often timing out when Ben's in the air, which is not good. Now we're getting into the last three of Ben's classic Ben 10 lineup. The first one being Upgrade, whose first line is... well, you just heard, Upgrade. So, of these, which one is Upgrade? 10 seconds, good luck. So, this one right here is Upgrade. He first appeared... he's a galvanic mechamorph, first appearing Destroyer of Aliens, appearing 2 times in the movie. Once battling the tank, and after second Gwen out, decided to upgrade the tank, only for it to backfire, causing Gwen to use the dismantling spell, sparking the whole events of the movie. Later, he appeared battling Asmistad by Stonehenge, making his teleporter malfunction, teleporting them to the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio, where he was stunned and taken to the Great Pyramids, transforming into Stinkfly once they teleported there. So he can merge with any type of tech, including vehicles, improving or destroying it, creating weapons out of it, maybe even controlling it at some point. He's also shown to be very strong and can shoot a laser beam out of his eye. This goes for when he's merged with tech as well. So he can make himself a parachute, can read online files when hacked into a computer, and when upgraded he can make spikes or tentacles to deter people away from him. He can also throw things that are part of the thing he controls and form his head and fists to fight people on board. He's also very elastic and can launch the upgrade object at someone if it goes fast enough. He can also turn himself to goo to move in between objects, teleport himself through electronic devices. It's strong, is immune to bullets, can modify games as well as control them, fry circuits, survive in space, make himself a wave, can change his shape into a rope or other aliens or people can enable him to wrap around legs. He can also reform if multiple parts are separated. However, he's very vulnerable to electricity since he's made out of liquid metal. He can also be hypnotized, he can be flexible, but there is a limit to his flexibility. He also is vulnerable to magic and can be blocked out with ease. Now, on to another one of Ben's classic aliens, Stinkfly. So with Stinkfly, there are 2 versions up here of him, with his first line being... so of these, which 2 are Stinkfly? 10 seconds, good luck. First, I want to note that this is a different version of Cannonball that is Ben 10,000's version. Forgot about that. But there's Ben 10,000's version of Stinkfly and Ben 10's version of Stinkfly. There's also a baby Stinkfly, but unfortunately I couldn't get a picture, and I noticed it too late. So he's a Leptodopteran who first appeared in Secret of the Onyx, appearing briefly as Ben chose him to chase after Animo. Briefly working, but the watch went on the fritz, setting on gray matter shortly after. Then Destroyer or aliens appeared twice, once battling the Waybat, but was held back by Tetrax to come up with a plan. Once they came up with the plan to get the Frill, he decided to go after the Frill, but transformed into Ben shortly before he could do any damage. Then he battled Asmon's dad at the Great Pyramids, managing to make him stick to the Great Pyramids, but he got out and knocked him, teleporting both of them to Belwar, where the battle continued, eventually ending with Stinkfly's wings getting wet and crashing into a building before changing to Heat Blast. So Stinkfly's name is very self-explanatory. So he can fly, shoot a single spray of goo from his eyes. He has a sharp tail and has 360 vision. He can also shoot goo out of his mouth, which can act as a rope, and can blind people He can also make a goo ball that can clog machines, is very durable, can put out fires with his goo, is fast when he's flying, has acid breath, has deadly gas or farts, and the goo can be sticky. However, his eyes work individually, which can be used against him since he can't focus on one target, and much like other insects, he can't fly when his wings are wet. He also can't swim. His goo is also flammable, he's not strong, he can time out when flying if not prepared. He's not used to carrying a lot of passengers, his smell could give him away, and his tail could be caught in something. The last of Ben 10's classic aliens is, of course, Diamond Head, whose first line is,
Ow. Well, I wanted to get away from it all. Now, where am I?
of these, which two are Diamond Head? 10 seconds, good luck. So, of course, we got Ben 10,000 as Diamond Head and Ben 10 as Diamond Head. He's a Petrosapien, first appearing in Secret of the Onyx briefly when Ben transformed it into Stinkfly to chase after Animo, only for the watch to go on the fritz, one of the aliens being Diamond Head. Then, Destroyer aliens, he appeared when Ben crash landed on Earth, managing to walk away from the creator he created onto the road to try and hitch a ride home, only unsuccessfully before changing to Forearms. Later, he appeared outside his house, reuniting with the rest of the group before being busted, lying to Tetrax, and getting captured by Asmon's dad, timing out then. Then, in a race against time, he fought Eon in the gym before Eon told Ben where people would gather when alarms sound, which caused him to run into the girls' locker room to hide and change it back into Ben. So, being a Diamond Head, he has crystal-esque powers, forming knives from his hand, crystals from his back, which are proven sharp, and he can reflect lasers. He's also able to shoot and toss shards of crystal, which can clog machines, can form a protective shield and mini one on his arm. He can form crystals out of the ground, durable, form claws. His female form is agile, again I don't have a picture of it. He also has quick reflexes, can encase people in crystal, can make himself slides to transport himself like a homemade skate park. He can also form his hands into pikes, can appear by a crystal, can roll in a ball and shoot multiple crystals while unfurled, can form a hand out of the ground, has a super jump and super strength, and can fight. There are some drawbacks though. He can be shouted with enough force, can be weighed down with enough force, his diamonds can be cut with a sharp blade, and his size can be a disadvantage at times, as well as his weight. Of course, I have the hardest alien for last, if you can even call it one. Do you know who this last alien is? His first line is,
Sorry to disappoint you. Such power. Trapped. Held slave by a child. No longer. I am free.
10 seconds, good luck. So this one is the only alien that appears once and then never appeared again. This is the alien of Eon. He is a Cronian who have now been retconned and first and only appeared in Race Against Time, forcibly being transformed into him after Eon had locked him. Essentially transferring the consciousness into this new version of him to be the new Eon, being one of the few aliens to actually gain sentience. Unlike the previous times, though, Gwen helped Ben regain control and blast away Eon's goons before being changed back. Unfortunately, though, he already activated the Hands of Armageddon at this point. So he has all of Eon's powers and is sentient, so he's aware that he is trapped in the Omnitrix. And unlike the villainous counterpart, he can operate the Hands of Armageddon, and has a blast that can make people vaporize. But he has most of the same weaknesses as Eon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with LEGO ISS.